Time to rock and roll, everybody. Game number 1 of the day. We are in the playoffs. The Endgame Gear Masters has finally started the final tournament. We are Northern Isles in a best-of-3 series between Neutron, the Nightelf, all the way down to the bottom left of the map. And he's going up against a German Undead player. Up towards the top right, we're seeing White and Nerdy. So WaN is going to try and take his Nightelf opponent down here. This is a best-of-3 series, as already mentioned, and we are in a double elimination system, which means that if a player loses out here, he still has a chance in the lower bracket, in the losers bracket. And this is going to be incredibly important, because this is actually the online phase of the playoffs. There is an offline phase as well. The offline match, or the offline finals, are going to include 4 matches in total. And we will see all of that happening in Germany on the 17th of August in Osnabrück in the esports factory. And as mentioned previously, this entire event is going to be open to the public. So if you want to check it out, you're more than welcome to stop by and obviously get a ticket there as well. Join the finals, check out a couple of the players, talk to them. I'm going to be there as well. And if you want to have more information about this entire thing, then you can go to www.endgamegear-masters.com and have a closer look at the website to see all of the details. There's 2,500 euros on the line, and that's not all. There's actually also a fair share of hardware to win for all of the players too, graphics cards, CPUs and more. So it's going to be a pretty epic event here, and everybody is highly motivated. We're going to have quite a lot of best-of-3s in the first phase of the tournament, and then later on in the offline part we're switching to best-of-5s. In this particular series, it's obviously a question of which one of the players will move straight into the semi-finals of the winner bracket. And we're going to have 3 matches already today. Should be a pretty exciting one. And we have again a Nightelf versus Undead, and especially for Neutron here in yellow, this should be pretty much a well-known territory for him. Throughout all of the qualifiers, he had to face this particular matchup multiple times. And it was actually fantastic qualifiers for him just in general. The only one to really best him over and over again was Foggy, who claimed victory in qualifier number 1 and qualifier number 2. But outside of that, he did exceptionally well. He's now trying to get the creep completed so that he has level 2 before the Death Knight even appears and has a chance to get the coil in. But with the Tusker Trapper actually moving away as the Acolyte gets focused for a second, level 2 is not in his hand. So that's a little bit of a problem here for him right now. He's definitely a bit slower than he expected. Hunter's Hall is already getting attacked. The Death Knight is making his way into the main base, trying to take down a few of those wisps, and therefore eliminate the lumber support that we're going to have for the Nightelf player. And for Neutron, this is a huge problem right now. He started traditionally on the map with Treants first, and since he doesn't have an Entangle right now, he cannot apply as much pressure to the Keeper as he probably would like to, so this is a bit of an issue. And the main reason is that he wasn't able to take the camp, and that is actually a big problem for him right now. Normally, if you eliminate the last creep as well, it means that you get level 2 quite easily, and once the Death Knight then appears, he has to be extremely careful, because you can surround him with Treants, with archers, and try to drop him there. In terms of items, obviously Neutron a bit ahead now, since he has the Potion of Greater Mana, another nice one for him. But White and Nerdy already with a fair amount of units killed, sitting at 100 experience for his own hero. Again, the attempt to save a few wisps by immediately dropping structures here. And in the main base of the Undead player, we're seeing a halfway completed tech into the Halls of the Dead, and the Death Knight still on the run here, with another 2 charges on the Rod of Necromancy. And still checking out what exactly is going on there. Gets another charge already converted into skeletons for the additional scout. And is so far doing pretty well. Acolyte is still alive, has all the scouts up. There's a Tree of Life that is being built now by Neutron too. And obviously he needs to be quite careful that that one doesn't get taken out. Especially since White Nerdy is now moving into the main base again and attempting to attack additional wisps. But already Neutron coming in here, and now he has the Entangle also as a tool in his arsenal, since he just reached level 2 with his hero. Well, that's the immediate entangle, and that's exactly what we've been talking about earlier. Is able to escape, at least for now. But the potion gets used. Potion of Greater Mana used by the Keeper. And that means that the Death Knight should actually be forced into a portal unless White Nerdy is willing to let him die. Because we are going to see quite a lot of entangles here. It's a lot of a mana drain too, though. So it's a bit of a problem. It doesn't really seem like Neutron is going to be able to get this one, unless he's willing to really sacrifice the entire Potion of Greater Mana, and as it turns out, that's not the case. So he's moving away for now, and still has to deal with the space here. Now, in an ideal world for him, he would have been able to force the Death Knight into a portal, or at least take him down, because now the Death Knight can still try and get some experience by using coils in a timely fashion. Augury Magi goes down. There's the Ring of Regeneration now also for the Keeper. An attempt of getting a few more experience points by taking the archers down, or sorry, the Skeleton Warriors down is also successful. But White Nerdy is still lingering around and trying to be a bit of a nuisance here, and so far quite successful at that. But wasn't able to get anything stolen yet. I mean, it's always that presence, of course, in the back, and he's going to try and time this properly. But nice delay on the attack from Neutron, and that brings him nearly level 3 with his setup. Is 3 experience points short from the next level, which is fantastic for him. Now, the attack into the Black Citadel has already started for White Nerdy. We see him with the Lich as the second hero, and the Slaughterhouse is also built at the front. A little bit exposed to any kind of attack at the start. But obviously what Neutron is currently doing is he is trying to take into tier 2 as well. Now, when you go into an earlier expansion, what you basically end up doing is you are sacrificing a fast attack in addition of having then also more units. So pretty much it's a bit of a trade-off, and in that case Neutron is going to try and defend that base for as long as he can. If he can hold the expansion, that would be fantastic for him. At the same time, he is going to attempt to ensure that there is no expansion for the Undead player either. And that is the entire game plan at this point. Whereas obviously for the Undead player, it's a bit of a different story. In his world, he really wants to hit a timing where the Nightelf player is still weak and where he can take him down. And a huge part of that is also to make sure that he has enough. Oh, there's a Coil Nova. The slow is in. Ah, nearly the surround against the Keeper. But in this case, he actually survives. Another Nova should be there in just a second, though. And the aura is there, but he doesn't go for it just yet. So as I was about to say, that hitting a timing and trying to take down the Nightelf player while he is still vulnerable is going to be super important. Once again, the attempt to at least take a few of the ghouls down. Entangle is already hitting. In this case, it's already on level 2, so he spec'd both into that, and that's the one ghoul down. Nice surround onto the Hunt on the other hand, and that is going to be a kill. There's the Dust of Appearance, and the Hunt goes down. That's actually a nice move from him. Is able to get the kill in. Ooh, for a second I actually thought that Neutral might have a chance here to deny it, which he did. But didn't react quickly enough for this one. So in terms of experience, the Keeper is nearly on level 4. I mean 3.5 at this point, which isn't too bad either. Lich still on level 1. And again the attack here with the attempted surround. But White and Nerdy can't close it. And 2 of the skeletons are already done. But there it is. Nice. Using the statue in the mix as well. Able to pull it off. In the meantime, there's obviously also an additional tech here ready for Neutron as he completes the Tree of Ages, and that gives us the Demon Hunter as the second hero. Exactly the same style that we've seen from Neutron in all of the games against Undead that he has played so far in the qualifiers. With an exception or two. I mean, he had a really nice tier 1 rush against X-Lord in one of the games on Twisted Meadows. But in this case right now, we're having just a very stable style for him that helped so far to take down Undead after Undead in those qualifiers. And with this particular setup, he is going to drain the living hell out of the Undead heroes and trying to keep that Undead army as powerless as possible, but draining the heroes out of all their Coil and Nova potential. With the Orb of Corruption now in the inventory, the Lich obviously turns into a bit of an auto-attack killing machine and hits level 2 as they're taking down the Forest Troll Warlord. Healthstone comes in as well. And with this, we have a pretty good setup here. So White and Nerdy at this point looking quite nice, but he still wants level 3. And that's starting to become a bit of an issue. Now, at this point, he's sitting at 33 supply. In the main base, we obviously have him now also with a completed tier 3 tech. I mean, Orb of Corruption, duh, so obviously. But he will have to set this attack up, and this is going to become a little bit problematic. Now, first of all, that Demon Hunter has Rune Bracers, which isn't too bad either. Pretty good item for him. So even if the Demon Hunter wouldn't completely drain those Undead heroes of mana, it would also mean that it's still pretty difficult to take him down. We're now having Ancient of Lores build, the second one to be exact. The first one is already producing Dryads. But here comes the attack of White and Nerdy, and as you can already tell, he's slightly behind in supply, 47 against 40 at this point. There's always the difference between the army supply and the, well, the economy supply, the worker supply. And in this case, White and Nerdy might just slightly be ahead of his opponent. That's an important cancel that he just forced now too. And he tries to get the kill against the backline. Level 2 for the Demon Hunter as White and Nerdy makes his way straight into the archers, taking one after another down and using the Rocket of Necromancy to supply some additional skeletons to take the rest apart as well. And the archers are falling one after another as the Lich comes in with another quick Nova, drops them, and they are absolutely getting evaporated here. 40 supply right now for Neutron, whereas White and Nerdy is sitting at 37, trying to keep especially his units alive. But with the Death Knight without mana, it's starting to become a bit more difficult for him. The Demon Hunter definitely doing his job here with one mana burn after another. Lesser Clarity Potion on the ground and gets actually found out here. Not picked up though, so apparently doesn't want to steal that one away. A little bit more busy taking the army apart. One Fiend is meeting its maker though. And we're having Neutron again fighting through, but the Destroyer is now in the air as well. And all of a sudden, we have White and Nerdy with a really good position here. 36 supply on the side of the Nightelf, and that's a huge problem because of the difference between the worker supply, obviously. I mean, not only do we have 10 Wisps in total in those 2 gold mines, you have also the Lumber Wisps in addition to that, whereas up in the main base, as you can tell, there's not a single ghoul that is currently trying to harvest any lumber here. So White and Nerdy finds himself in a really nice position against Neutron. But the double income that we're seeing from the Nightelf player is still a little bit of a pain in the ass here. The Ancient of Lore gets rebuilt again, and another archer bites the dust. That's level 3 now for the Death Knight, and we're having the Lich on level 2. Death Knight, by the way, still speccing into the coil onto level 2, not going into the aura, which we occasionally see. But obviously he's going to be drained pretty shortly as well. But we have the Dark Ranger in the mix now too, so even more aggression with the triple hero. And here comes the attack against the Fiend. Yeah, not enough mana on the Death Knight. Still has that health stone, by the way. The Fiend is about to drop, and on the other hand, we're seeing the Demon Hunter with a quick potion. Has in the inventory by now also the Ring of Regeneration passed over from the Keeper. Under heavy attack, though, with the Orb of Venom in his inventory, and the statues are going down. But it's time for the Abominations to appear in the fight, so far without a Disease Cloud. But the aggression is still ongoing, and in this case, he's trying to go for the Dryads. One Dryad after another falling here as well. The Lich on level 3 gets the Health Stone. Uh-oh, Demon Hunter is low. Oh, nearly dies here. Goes down to 18 HP, and the Destroyer wants the kill, and the Destroyer gets the kill. Demon Hunter down. Now the Keeper in trouble as well. Neutron played fantastic qualifiers. He won the 3rd one. He came into the final several times. Foggy took him down in Nightelf versus Nightelf in the 2nd qualifier, but now it seems like he might, at least on Northern Isles, have met his master. Neutron in trouble. 39 supply against 47, and White and Nerdy is just taking down Moonwell after Moonwell, sending units across the map now, whereas we're seeing Neutron trying to recover here at this point. Another statue is already going to be put into the mix, and the Undead player is starting to just go straight down to the bottom of the map to take down the production structures of his opponent. No more Dryads for Neutron pretty soon here, and he's already moving into the middle to go straight to the tavern. Keeper is back to business in the inventory. Staff of Preservation also has the healing scroll. That's gonna help him a little bit, but I gotta be honest here, he's in trouble and he knows it too. 50 supply right now for White and Nerdy. We're talking about 47 only for his opponent. Actually, he's just producing a few of these units, and it seems like that Demon Hunter might never even make the light of day, so that's also supply that he can't even use at this point even. And this is a huge problem right now. White and Nerdy killing it in game number 1 here of the best of 3 series. And yep, the Demon Hunter is out and is able to portal away with a Staff of Teleportation. That was a clutch one though. He just appears as the altar falls. And of course, the path of destruction that we are seeing from White and Nerdy is still continuing. Moonwell after Moonwell is getting taken down here. And as we all know, sind die Moonwells erstmal leer, wird es für den Nachtelf schwer. So in this case, huge problem for Neutron. His Moonwells are pretty much empty, and that's going to be a problem for him. But the statues are also about to be taken down, and that takes some of the sustain away that the Undead is definitely going to rely upon. Again, another Coil Nova attempt against the Demon Hunter. He's low already, so far only on level 2. And the Staff of Preservation saves his bony ass. The blind guy once again successful. The Lich, on the other hand, about to be taken down. Portal passed over, and that is saving the day for the Nightelf for a few more seconds as the Undead has to cut his losses. Game is not over just yet. With that little force on the portal, that was actually really an important step that we've just seen here. Another Fiend is also in the mix. But if you just think about the army right now, 47 against 47 supply and still a 2 base income, that isn't too bad. That Demon Hunter is also about to hit level 3, which is another important thing to mention, because it will grant him the mana burn on level 2. And once that he has that mana burn on level 2, it's going to be fantastic for the Nightelf to just drain his opponent. There we have it. In addition to that, the Claws of Attack +9. So while initially things looked really good for WaN, he started to have a bit of a problem. Not being able to deny the Demon Hunter to his opponent was one of the issues that he had. And then obviously having to portal out since the pressure was on him was another one. He just didn't have any items anymore. And if you check his inventory, he doesn't really have anything in terms of items. It's not like he had the income really to just buy all of this. And I'm a bit surprised that he doesn't at least get a mana potion or a potion of healing at this point. He still has 500 gold and he could really do with a little bit of that. Good silence against the Demon Hunter. Denied. As he was trying to make his little play here, but not quite working for him. And now it starts to become really, really problematic. Again, the pressure onto the Demon Hunter. The Ruined Bracer is doing so much for him right now. The Abomination, on the other hand, is getting chased down and slowly going to fall. That's the end of that. A Dryad gets taken down and also a Huntress in exchange for that, which delivers the level 3 into the hands of the Dark Ranger. The triple hero could definitely be the deciding factor in this battle right now. But we're having Neutron also passing over into the low upkeep. 53, 56 supply for him at this point. And this is going to be even more problematic as the ghouls are actually starting to check out what's happening with those goblin sappers at the top. Nice attempt. One sapper is still alive and gets taken down, but not before, well, actually destroys the shop there. So the attack from Neutron trying to force another portal. There is a portal in the inventory of his opponent, but at this point WaN pretty much knows that if his opponent buys too much time, he is going to be in trouble. So he's just trying to defend as much as he can, already upgrading a Ziggurat here. But the only idea of Neutron is make sure that he has to portal. And that's what he's trying to do right now. Portal has been activated and immediately Neutron is bowing out here. Another Dryad dies, and that was a good move. But I'm a little bit surprised that he wasn't trying to push this a little bit farther. I mean, we still have 3,800 gold left here. WaN actually going into the low upkeep now as well. I'm pretty sure he's going to deny that pretty quickly. But now we're seeing him again with a bit more aggression. And obviously for Neutron, the only play that he has to make is buy some time. That's the only thing that he did with the last move. Buy time. The only thing that he has to do. Demon Hunter's coming in again. Demon Hunter gets a Nova. Where's the coil? Should get another one shot in pretty quickly. Unless WaN wants to risk that he is getting mana drained again. But just look at this play here. It's the same thing again. He's starting to attack. He's going to try and buy a little bit of time. And in the meantime, we're having White and Nerdy starting another attack, trying to force a fight here. But Neutron has no interest in fighting. I mean, none whatsoever. He's just sitting there and he's saying like, hey dude, you want to fight? No interest. Sorry bro. I'm just going to trade all day long town portals with you because I have the much better income than you. And if you don't force me into a battle, I'm not going to take it. The mass repair is already there, at least triple repair. That's going to help a little bit. And here come actually two heroes. The heroes are still attacking, trying to defend here with success, I might add, while the fiends are still down at the bottom of the map. The purple mist, the portal is in. One fiend already slowed, and the heroes have to join now. I like the idea of White Nerdy. I really like the move. Really cool move. Splitting the army like this. Can he save the fiend? Yes, he can. All right, gets set up. Over here, still a Wisp in play, but now he has exactly what he wants. That little maneuver from White and Nerdy actually allows him to finally force a fight against his opponent. It's 50 supply against 51. White and Nerdy for so long has now been in the low upkeep by just simply one supply number. He really needs to take something down here. But he's still fighting this through. And now he can force that battle. No attack upgrades. He has actually also at the same time an anti-magic shell on the Demon Hunter as he's trying to get another mana burn through. Double potion of healing in the inventory. Just look at the inventory of these two heroes. It's actually insanity. Potion after potion, potion of lesser invulnerability. Way too much right now. And here comes the attack again. One potion already used, another one obviously on cooldown. But we have no mana for that Lich and Death Knight. Both of them are low, which also endangers obviously the Lich. Ooh, there we go. Gets the mana through with the Dark Ritual and drops the Nova immediately. A lot of the units are already down for both players at this point actually. White and Nerdy's down to 43, 46 supply, whereas we're having still 54 for his opponent. But those hero levels, they are starting to become a major pain in the ass now for the Nightelf player. Needs to be careful, but as long as they're low on mana, there's no real problem. At this point, Druids of the Claw are also joining the fun, so far still on Adept and not on Master, but still dropping the Rejuvenation here, as we have the attack against him immediately, and those magic damage destroyers are starting to move in. Still the attack against the Undead forces, but Neutron has dropped down to 42 supply as well. One Fiend after another eliminated, but also Burrow getting used, and the Keeper is down! The Keeper is down! Oh, with that, it might just be the end. Is there another chance for him to get him back? Neutron doesn't have the resources to buy him at the tavern, and now the Demon Hunter's about to fall as well. White and Nerdy pulls it off in game number 1. The GG dropped as the Undead player takes the lead in the best of 3 series here at the playoffs of the Endgame Gear Masters. Game number 2, everybody. Concealed Hill is the map, and we have to the top right White and Nerdy, who has just taken the lead against Neutron in a thriller on game number 1 here in Northern Isles. Pretty awesome game between the two of them. A fantastic attack from White and Nerdy. But I gotta say that Neutron actually had a really cool plan to come back into the game. Not only did he really just shut down the initial attack with a pressure play against the Lich that would have nearly killed him and forced White and Nerdy to jump out, but he also had pretty solid delay tactics after that to try and capitalize on the fact that he had a double income from those 2 bases that he was mining from. White and Nerdy with an army split was able to shut down that attempt and then finally force the end fight. But especially the kill against Keeper, who still had the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, was a huge letdown there for Neutron, and that obviously put him in a spot where he just couldn't recover anymore. Those Undead heroes just were too high in level. Triple hero against double hero in the late game, definitely starting to pay off for his Undead opponent. But again, the strategy has so far worked a lot in the past, so Neutron is doing the exact same thing, opens up with the Keeper here, and I would expect nothing else but seeing him at the Demon Hunter in the later stages once more. So with this, let's have a look all the way up to the top. We're already seeing the Altar of Darkness here with the Death Knight again. We're also having the Graveyard in play, so once more it's going to be Fiends for him. It's actually quite interesting. I mean, generally speaking, Blizzard is really trying to give Undead a few more options when it comes to units, powerful strategies, but so far the Fiend Death Knight combo simply prevails. It offers so much to an Undead player. The Unholy Aura in particular just allows for the continuous hit and run and just the kiting throughout the entire game, whereas obviously also Fiends themselves are pretty sustainable and tanky compared to other units. Comboed off with the Death Knight, who can death quell them too. It's just a fantastic setup that allows Undead to be really annoying, really strong and really flexible too. So now once again, the creep starting here. And especially for the newer players, might be kind of interesting that if you actually open with this, with an Ancient of War into an Archer, you have to ensure that the Ancient of War is not last hitting those creeps. Because if that happens, then you don't get any experience. You have to actually kill the creeps with units. And that's exactly what he's currently doing. So if you're a little bit newer to the game, you might not be quite aware of that. So something to definitely watch out for. If you have a more inexperienced players, this could actually happen to you, and then oftentimes you end up in an experience deficit compared to your opponent. But the aggression that we've seen in game number 1 is now mirrored once more by White Nerdy. And there's the level 2 already, which now allows the Keeper to apply a little bit of additional pressure against the Death Knight. And I just want to remind everybody again that especially in game number 1, that became a problem for Neutron because he didn't get the early experience, he didn't get the entire camp because the Agolite aggroed a little bit earlier, but here is exactly that pressure against the Death Knight that we were missing in the first game. Another nice little micro maneuver that we just saw, once that White Nerdy realized that he was about to be surrounded. He immediately went in with his own skeleton and blocked a path so that he could escape with the hero once again. And he gets a little bit more experience on the side with taking down one of the wisps that was just hanging in the tree there. So the little tree hugger already eliminated. But we're having White and Nerdy also with attack into the next level. In terms of items, for Neutron, the Keeper of the Grove has now also the +6 claws of attack and a pair of Spider-Man socks. Always amazing there, definitely a Marvel fan what we're having here. And yeah, looking pretty grim still. Probably a little bit unhappy about Tony Stark and his end there in Avengers Endgame. And, well, there's already the cigarette absent. I mean, rumor has it that Endgame Gear was actually named Endgame Gear because it's about as epic as Avengers Endgame, so that's something to think about. And I gotta at least confirm that the mouse is pretty epic, so the XM1 so far are pretty much a highlight. Very, very happy, though, that Endgame Gear is also pretty much on board with the WarCraft 3 hype train, especially with Reforged on the horizon. Not that we are hearing a lot out of Blizzard when it comes to Reforged these days, but then again, a lot of people are hyped about this. It was the RTS for a long, long time before Blizzard stopped StarCraft 2. Sorry, dropped StarCraft 2, not stopped it. That game is still going strong as well. But yeah, the attempt that is around is so far probably not going to work out because the aura isn't there and there's no Lich for slow either. But White Nerdy is definitely attempting to apply some pressure here. And also needs to do that because once that he starts to try and escape from this one, the archers are going to start him down here. There is the attempted 4 units around. That didn't quite work out, but the coil is still keeping the ghouls alive. And in the main base, as you can see, we're now having the Lich coming into play too. And so far, it's a little bit of a different setup of what we've seen previously. It's a main focus into ghouls. That's a bit of a concerning issue though. That Keeper wants to have the mana to take down the Death Knight. It's not going to be quite that easy for him. But that DK is down to 30 HP. Finally back on Blight on the other hand. And that also gives him a bit of an advantage. Potion of healing also in inventory. Frog. Double frog, by the way. And there's the tree as well. Tree of Life already scouted out by the Acolyte. White Nerdy double checking exactly what's happening here. And with another Staff of Teleportation, we're now seeing the Keeper a little bit more flexible and mobile on the map itself. For the Undead player, obviously the goal has to be at this point getting some experience. You need your level 2, you need your aura, you need to start and set this up. Having in the main base right now with level 2 already being hit, the Lich starting to make his appearance as well. Tech into the Black Citadel has now also started up, and the Death Knight is on the move down to the bottom of the map again. And pretty important at this point is also to note that we're having a Mantle of Intelligence in the inventory for him. And that's very likely going to be passed over onto the Lich for the increased mana pool and also the added damage that you get obviously by speccing into your main attribute. Another Wisp gets nuked into oblivion. That's just a bit of an attempt to utilize the Fountain of Health here as well by the Death Knight. Also, of course, double check what else is happening there. The Keeper in the meantime with 2 rings of protection, 1+4 and 1+3. So that's now +7 armor that he's currently spouting. Very likely we're going to see some of that added to the Demon Hunter. I would still assume that the Demon Hunter is going to be added. And yes, that is indeed the case. So same gameplay that we're going to have in other games. Again, the Detonate. And the Death Knight is already on the run here. I honestly, at some point, I'm really wondering what's going to happen if the Demon Hunter is getting leveled real quickly and the Death Knight has to make a choice. Oh, nice attempt. That's always awesome. Good cancel on the Death Coil as the Moonwell gets produced. Bit of a bait here from Neutron. But yeah, I could totally see that some of the Death Knights, for example, in the future would even spec into a level 2 aura a bit quicker because that Demon Hunter is just such a pain whenever he comes in and drains you of mana. You are very unlikely to get a good coil off. Now the Fiends are slowly getting added for White and Nerdy. He has a fair amount of ghouls with this setup as well. Who are obviously fantastic against the ranged army, against the archers in particular. That's something to watch out for. We're also going to see some items being passed over to the Demon Hunter in just a few seconds. And of course, those spider socks are going to boost the main attribute of the Demon Hunter himself. And there's solo creeping going on right now, which means that all of the experience that is getting gathered here will end up on the Demon Hunter and not split between the Demon Hunter and the Keeper. Which is exactly what I hinted earlier. We're going to have the attempt to make sure that the Demon Hunter is reaching an early level 3. So that his mana burn is going to be a lot more effective against White and Nerdy. Who's currently equipping that another steal, nicely done, and the Keeper gets out. But we have that Orb of Corruption now for him, and that Orb of Corruption is just absolutely amazing. Having the armor reduction here is just insane. And well, as you can tell, that Demon Hunter down at the bottom of the map has hit level 2. 3 on the Keeper, 2 on the Demon Hunter. Gets also the replenishment potion, and with a bit more creeping at the side here, if he splits off the Keeper again, it's quite likely that the Demon Hunter is going to hit level 3 soon, and that's exactly what's happening here. So we're having White and Nerdy preparing his attack, 34 supply for him. Expansion down here is obviously already underway, so a double income now for the Nightelf, who's also going straight into... Ooh, Potion of Invulnerability. But the archers are having the same problem that they had in the last game. They're absolutely getting murdered here, getting totally destroyed. But in this case, thanks to the Goblin Laboratory, we are actually seeing Neutron with a quick pickup. Has the Goblin Zeppelin here. The Dark Ranger is moving in again, and with all those skeletons and the ghouls, plus the fiends that he's already rocking, we're seeing the attack slowly starting to come in. And it's a bit of a different setup. He wants to actually go into Hippogriff Riders here. So that's one setup for him. Up to the top, there's the web already being researched, so he's trying to get that as quickly as he can, so that he can shut those down. But it is starting to become a little bit of a dicey aspect here for Neutron, because he's starting to lose Moonwells. And he is so far not supply blocked, but if he loses another one, that is going to become a problem for him. So right now, there's just detonates all over the place to drain even more of the mana. Potion of Invulnerability already being used here. And in addition to that, we're seeing more units getting dropped here. The ghouls are all low. Here comes the web in action, and a Hippogriff is already biting the dust. So, yep, there goes another chicken. So another more Hippogriff Rider getting attacked here, and it seems like this one is also going to end up in the KFC bucket. The problem is that the Lich is getting attacked too, and that is going to force the portal once again. Level 2 drops into his hands, and that is at least a level up for him. But the problem still remains the same. Without mana on the Death Knight, you are going to have trouble keeping those heroes alive. And we still don't see any healing potions or mana potions on those heroes. By now, White and Nerdy is down to 37 supply, and Neutron again has 40. But I want to highlight again that there is a difference, obviously, between the army supply of the two races. Whereas we're only seeing 6 supply on wood and... well, actually, in this case, a little bit more. He actually has 5 supply here, has another 8 supply there, so that's 13 on workers. But that's still a lot less than we're seeing from the Nightelf player, obviously. So the army supply of the two players is still fairly even at this point. But the goals... Oh! Alright, baby, now we're talking. Ancient Jango of Endurance is getting dropped into the hands of the Death Knight, as he's also about to reach level 3. I was just about to say, the goal for him has to be to get additional levels for his heroes and end up with high-level Undead heroes again, as he did in the last game. So he gets good items now too. What do we have on the other side? Still a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, also another Potion of Healing at this point, and the attempt to play with drops right now. So this is going, what's happening at here, game number 2. Now this is game number 2, so obviously we have the lead right now for White and Nerdy. Neutron, on the other hand, wants to take aim at that gold mine. His own base is already getting attacked though, and that's starting to force a portal out of him. I'm not quite sure if he can actually pull that off. He will have to portal out here. I don't think there's a way that he can take this down quickly enough, can he now? There's already a bit of a repair going on, and he will have to bow out. Unless he's willing to, he actually is willing to sacrifice this. Sacrifices his gold for the trade. There's the portal out. Big win at this point for White and Nerdy. He just took down, oh my god, no he didn't. Is that thing actually going to survive? Yes, it is. I mean, sometimes you see a shot flying across the map, but as long as he heals it up right now, that's not going to be a problem. So, right now, Neutron still sacrificing the town portal and losing his base. So no matter how you look at it, that was a big win for the Undead. A huge win. What is happening here? Neutron has walked over Undeads in every single qualifier and has literally just shit on them. Honestly, it was insane. Like, the spanking that so many Undead players received at the hands of Neutron was absolutely incredible. A lot of them had to play the second game standing because they got spanked so hard in game number 1 that sitting down started to hurt. But now, White and Nerdy is actually starting to play a fantastic game. He is playing the hit and run game once more with Unholy Aura on level 1. And is able to just get one web in after another. And with him taking down the expansion of his opponent, he's in a great spot right now. One base against one base, fuck yeah. An Undead player is going to take that trade any time of the day. So right now, there's obviously still one mana burn chasing another, as the Demon Hunter is doing his job and making sure that those heroes on the Undead side are having trouble. But with the extra setup that we have now for White and Nerdy, he's starting to invest into a couple of mana potions as well. Down at the bottom of the map, there's still no base being built for Neutron. He's just relying now on the Shredder. He also has the Ancient of Wind with more Fairy Dragons. And, well, we're having also a couple of fun frogs straight in the battle as they're observing everything here. We have the attack straight up against the Destroyer, but the web is in action again, and this is coming down to a micro battle. 58 supply against 48. Destroyer about to go down. And the chase is on as the triple hero is attempting to make their play. Fiend number 1 is already eliminated. The second one gets focused and dies a painful death as well. The Lich then again hits level 3, has the potion of greater healing in the inventory and also the potion of lesser invulnerability. One move after another from the Keeper as he comes in with another quick entangle. But especially those fairy dragons, still a pain in the behind of the Undead as he's trying to shut them down one after another. Once again, quick scan, a quick reveal, and a quick kill against another Fiend. But at least the even trade as the fairy dragon goes down, and that's level 3 now for the Dark Ranger right here. Alright, it is actually starting to happen. He takes the units down one after another, and things are starting to look pretty decent for White and Nerdy again. Having his opponent on the run, making sure that there's no second base for him. Huge deal. And as you can tell, there's also no tech into the Tree of Eternity right now. But the base is being rebuilt. So at this point, we're having Neutron again in a situation where he's attempting to get himself another base. But White and Nerdy is looking stronger and stronger and stronger here. Decent items on the heroes, has a Scroll of Healing on the Dark Ranger, is sitting also with the Death Knight now in a setup where he can invest into another town portal just to be on the safe side if he gets entangled and forced into an escape again, which is exactly what he does. A little bit of a heal attempt over here with another Hippogriff. The ghouls still have to be forced in, so those are currently just chilling at the side. Apparently thinking about deserting the entire plan here, not really joining the fun. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability has already been used by the Demon Hunter. In comes the level 4 for the Keeper of the Groove, and once again the attack as the focus is once more on their Lich. Has double potion in the inventory, is able to move away here as we see the Dispel against the Entangle and drops the Potion of Greater Healing. One Fairy Dragon after another one goes down, and the Keeper is actually about to run straight into the ghouls. One of them is attacking, the other one still chilling and enjoying the view from the sideline. As we have another Fairy Dragon down, the statue is about to get dropped too, and here comes the aggression from the ground army as we're seeing the ghouls taking aim on the Keeper, moving straight for him, and the Undead army is starting to take this down slowly and steadily. White and Nerdy and 42 supply against the 48, still the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability in the inventory of the Lich as we see another hero Fairy Dragon drop. Die, Brightwing, die. Royal Nova drops the Keeper once again, and now Neutron is in a world of pain, trying to salvage the situation, try to recover as he can, but he actually pulls the plug, moves out of the game, types the GG, and White and Nerdy advances to the semi-final of the winner bracket as Neutron drops into the loser bracket of the tournament. GG, and well played as White and Nerdy takes the 2-0 victory. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.